Hello, I'm Jesse Elaine, and today we're going to continue our exploration of how to improvise on the guitar. So in our last video, we discussed a little bit of simple idea, concept, where we're going to play both chords and melodic lines. And I want to expand upon that today by giving you a concrete exercise that you can use. So we're going to use 3 different chords, which also are in 3 different positions on the fingerboard that will correspond with 3 different melodic areas of activity, if you will. So the first chord is going to be our standard C major 7th. This chord will correspond with the area of activity here, C major 7th. So that's there, okay? When you play this chord, though, I want you to drop that low C note. I want you to just play G, B, E. It's going to give you a tighter sound, less conflict with the bass playing underneath you. Next, we're going to move to our 5th position area. This is our chord G, C, E, B. And this is going to correspond with what looks exactly like an A natural minor scale. You don't have to necessarily go that low. I probably wouldn't go that low, honestly, when I was soloing with another instrument like a bass underneath. Again, it will conflict with their notes in some ways, probably. So you probably want to keep it to like the last 4 strings. But I'm showing you those shapes because I want you to understand that those notes are available and that's where they're really drawn from. So in reality, you'd probably do something like... Just like here, you'd probably stick to like the 4th string. Something like that. Okay, and then your 3rd chord is going to be this C major 7th up here. So we're now in the 7th position, different area of activity. So this looks like a B Locrian mode fingering. You can see my right hand here. I'll alternate. You don't have to do that, but I'm just showing you to keep it simple. So those are your 3 areas of activity. Now in chords that go along with them. So when we play, we're going to go through and we're going to say 1 for the first area of activity, then the 2nd, then 3rd, then we'll go back and see how far we can get. We're going to play over that same sequence we did before in the key of C major, 8 repeats at 110 beats per minute this time. I'm going to just raise the tempo to make things a little more interesting for our fingers, to really keep us on cue here. So ready? Here we go. Chord first. Keep in here, high. Moving up to next area too. That's A minor pentatonic. Next area. Chromatic. Second area. Ending on the 9th. Threw a 3rd in there at the bottom, so we got a D and an E. Some interesting intervals going on. It's always nice to end on a color tone or even a non-chord color tone that works, such as in that case the 9th. The 9th is a pretty safe choice for the most part. If you're ending on a major or minor chord, it's usually going to work. But anyway, so there are your 3 areas of activity with the corresponding chords. And you got, and so good ways to think. Again, not the end-all be-all solution to improvising, but this is going to get you started in that way and starting to think of how you should play if you're playing in a trio style format, which is something that every guitarist should be able to do, just for your own benefit. So let's do it again, and I'm going to play a little bit less notey, if that makes any sense. I'm going to try to keep the notes down to a dull roar so you can really hone in on what I'm doing. But the same concept, chord first, then lines. Try to keep it real simple. Next area, ready? Third area. Third area, or second area. And I ended there on a shape that's derived from this chord here. All I did is I used the second finger and first finger, E, G, D, where the bass note was that. You don't have to do that with your thumb. I just wrapped it around to cover over the strings that were ringing from the bass side. So that's another way to do it. That kept it a little more straight. That's probably the approach you want to take, something more along those lines. When you're really first starting, though, and you're really getting comfortable with it, don't be afraid to go even simpler than what I did. You can go through and just play the chords for however many measures you want, or you can do measures, one measure of chords, one measure, 4 bars of chords, and then 4 bars of lines. Then do the next area, 4 bars of chords, 4 bars of lines, next area, 4 bars of chords, 4 bars of lines, however you want to do it, okay? This particular sequence is broken up into 4 measure groups times 8, so you'd have 32 bars overall. So that's why I'm breaking it up like that. But as long as you're getting both of those in, meaning chords, arpeggios, and melodic lines from scales, and arpeggio information, I think you'll be on the right track. So I'm going to do it one more time, and I'm going to try to even more simplify what I'm doing. I'm going to try to keep it no faster than 1/8 notes if I can. So here we go. Chord first. This is 4 bars. Now I'm going to do 4 bars of lines. Second area. I'm going to slide into the chord. Now some lines. Next area. And some lines. Second area. First area chords only. And last area. Second area. End on the chord in the first area. Okay, so I tried a different approach there. Chords, then lines, chords and lines, and then all chords at the end. excellent way to practice. And again, this really is a way to get into improvising. This is just such a small part of it, but it's probably one of the most important fundamental aspects, is that you can really think about things as they move and change. And that's exactly what we're doing. Although what playing underneath is the same thing. In most music, you're going to have more than one chord, but when you practice things like this, at this speed and in this manner, you'll very easily be able to start changing chords and doing the same process, but even more creatively. So let me know if you have any questions, and we'll see you next time.